Hello and welcome to the Elevate Show. Of course, every single Wednesday at 9:30, myself and the internationally acclaimed, unajua kwanza Zulu, let me just say it properly today. The internationally acclaimed life coach and counseling psychologist, Benjamin Zulu.
You're funny. You're funny. This is also, I'm sure you also know, you're also an internationally acclaimed host.
Yes, I
think the kind of discussions we have here cannot be held with a small mind.
No.
Because they cut across cultures, like our today's discussion on how we hype love. We say, find the right person, you know, just make sure you're committed to each other, don't listen to outsiders, you know, focus on that person, but we don't talk about focus on the weeds. Focus on the habits that may contaminate the right relationship with the right person until it can't even work. We don't talk about catching the small foxes. We don't talk about what in you, from your history, from your psychological deficiencies, may make you unlovable, self-sabotaging. Some people specialize in suspecting, creating things, just thinking this will not work. I know this can't be real. Some of us have found true love, but we ran away from it. Because somebody said it's not our weaknesses that scare us, but our strength. That actually we might be able to be a good, loving, stable person. We fear peace, we suspect it, we sabotage it, we prank each other.
Yeah.
We ask our girlfriends to create an account and chat him to see whether you know,
let's see what he's going to do about it.
You know, you create pseudo accounts to trap him. We can't believe that a person standing in front of me means what they say, and the time to be loved has come.
Yeah.
What more when we have accustomed ourselves to toxicity so much that we wait for argument, we wait for quarrel. One lady said, I dated a mature guy, I couldn't stand it because he wrongs me, he apologizes immediately. Now, what do I do with my storm?
Where do I take it?
What do I do now? You apologize so quickly. I expected, I came ready for
war.
So, we prepare ourselves for toxicity, that when peace arrives, we don't know how to handle it. I'm so glad that finally we're getting to a place where we can teach you that sometimes you are the problem.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes it's your addiction to dopamine sources. And I don't know why we are not taught dopamine, because people look for dopamine in gambling, dopamine in casual sex, dopamine in Netflix, dopamine in overeating, dopamine in casual relationships, dopamine in movies, binge eating, dopamine in Naivasha every weekend, dopamine. Sorry, I was not supposed to mention Kikope, but people have weekends slated for dopamine that when they get into a healthy relationship and they spend with their partner, that's too boring.
Yeah.
If there's no partying, it's not fun.
What are we going to do?
You know, if there's no shot, you must get shot. You know, so I'm glad now we are getting to tell people what in you could be the reason that even true love can't settle in your life.
Yeah.
And a peaceful connection and acceptance feels strange and real, you suspect it. There's an overactive thing in you. You may call it generational causes. I don't know, my stars are not aligned. You can come up with any explanation, but it's your habit. Mikali, when you're single, and you're one of the single people, and you think you're too free now. I'm not loyal to anyone. This is just my life. Yes. During your single time, you're behaving in ways that are so incompatible with love that when it comes, you need rehabilitation to function.
That's true.
That you are used to. Spinsters don't cook. They just eat anything, anytime, and just sleep anytime. Very disorganized life. Now, you get into a relationship, suddenly you're married. You need a schedule to come home. You feel this is too controlling. Again, can I delegate? You know. So when we are single, we forget that we are hoping to get into a relationship. Just to announce today, as we tell these people that if you're hoping for marriage, start behaving like a spouse before you get married. Ooh. Once you arrive, it will be too late to change 100 habits in a day. Yeah. Once you get there, it will be too late to close the 100 tabs you had opened with the people. You flattered this one. You know, some people's life is like a computer that has 100 tabs open. One is playing music, another making music noise, another playing movie. And now you expect them to calmly settle and be a loving husband? Yeah. Almost impossible. Actually, many people only live right in marriage after almost nearly wrecking it. That's why I say particularly men, when I come from the side of men, I noticed nearly all of us, we only settle on the second marriage. Not always second woman, but second marriage. The first marriage, you are just like a bachelor married.
I don't have time.
Continuing your freedom out there. You had send requests, you had send CVs to some ladies, and now you are getting replies. Your application has been accepted. And you already, you know, you have started. They saw you somewhere. You look like you have a life. Some of them have hit rock. They have come to think about you, but you already moved on. You never closed those tabs.
No, you didn't.
Many men is what we are doing innocently during single time that ruins when we finally arrive at our destiny. That you say the boyhood behavior ruins the manhood promise.
Ooh.
And it's only when a man nearly loses, that's when he wakes up. And I hope we are teaching them to avoid the experience. It's too painful, you may never recover. Some of the marriages, after we betray, we wreck how much they trusted us, takes them 20 years to open that match.
Yeah.
Once you get a person who is open to you and they have peaceful with you, learn through what we are teaching you today to weed out those things that may choke the very love you dreamt of.
Oh, wow. Let's give him a round of applause. And the dopamine we're talking about today is gambling and how that affects relationship, marriages, your personal life, your personal growth, and all of that. And just look at the scene where we are at in the 254. It has become such a huge pandemic currently. And it's not just Kenya alone, globally as well. And just to give just a slight statistic, in 2024, Kenyans gambled over 766 billion. In 2024, Kenyans gambled over 766 billion, averaging to about 2.1 billion daily. Daily. Leo hii, like today.
And we are jobless.
And hatuna kazi, economy ni ngumu. So what is happening there? Where are we getting this money? Where does it start? How do we notice? That is the conversation we're looking at today. And I love how you put it together, that some of the things we start probably innocently. Nika moja tu, nika kengine, and then you destroy the promise or the dream that you had for yourself. But then all is not lost, is it?
It's not lost, and I'm feeling because we are usually not gambling, we are buying acceptance.
Ooh.
We usually we are trying to enjoy existence.
Yeah.
We're trying to silence that void. Mm-hmm. If only we can see people who are into it, and many of us, when we have done it, thinking it's past time, then you're sucked in.
Yeah.
Yes, when you start, many times, gambling is sold to the poor to believe there's quick riches. To think that they can just get money like this.
Yeah.
You need to be stupid to that level to buy that.
Okay.
But there's a second group that sucks in, that are psychological deficiency, loss of esteem, emptiness, and the thrill of the risk. Yeah. Is what sucks them on. So dopamine comes later. On the surface, those who gamble thinking they'll win those millions. They'll win all those. They'll win all those. Many times, you need to be very lazy to think that way. Actually, people who have learned how life works,
yes.
You don't even want to collect money on the ground. You know, it must be a trap. Something.
No, you can't.
When you learn life, there's nothing free.
Yeah.
Actually, you just accept that and live peacefully. And when people are buying you lunch, you're like, what is it about? Just come clean, eh?
Yeah, what do you want?
You know? You become suspicious of free things.
Yeah.
So, but on a deeper level, when people feel like they want to be engaged, they want to make something happen, or they just to avoid coming from a breakup. Parents who are too strict, absent, not loving, too distant, that can suck you into any form of dopamine thrill, like aviator. Now you think you will fly. Have you noticed things that are named after aviation? I don't know, college. They usually don't have any aviation in it. There's no flying in aviator. So the only thing that flies is your money, is your confidence. So I think when you talk about it, let's come from a human point of view, that some people be addicted there, others to alcohol, others to casual sex, others to cigarette, some source of dopamine. Absolutely. So that we don't objectify the addicted person. We just see them as a person dealing with humanity, emptiness, loss of esteem, trauma, lack of direction, lack of acceptance. It's a person dealing with something else. This is just a symptom.
Absolutely. And I love that today's conversation is not one of those ones that just ended at they did this and that was it, because it's a story of victory. It's a story of I went through it, I came out of it, and I'm here to talk about it. And this gentleman talks about it proudly, loudly. We're on every stage that he will get. He will talk about it. Help me welcome the one, the only RB, Robert Burale. Welcome back to the Elevate Show. Like I mentioned before the break, today we're talking about gambling and what it does to relationships, how it affects relationships, marriages, and your personal life as well. And joining us, not only Limpatia introduction Navy cover, but I'm seated next to internationally acclaimed people. This is association, internationally acclaimed speaker. He's an author as well. He is an image consultant. RB Company CEO.
I'm a pastor.
Pastor, hey. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much for having me here.
And it's a good thing that sisi ni rafiki zako, so we are here to just ask those hard questions. Are you ready? We will not be judged afterwards, Zulu. We are safe. We are safe. We are safe. We are safe.
As ready could be.
Great. You've told your story over and over and over again, and I love the fact that you do not keep talking about it, because where the country is at right now, we need these conversations even more.
Right.
And having you talk about them, you're reputable, not just in Kenya, but globally as well. And you saying that was me, I did that, but this is me now. And it probably definitely hasn't defined who you are now.
Absolutely.
But then I just want to ask one question, just before we get into the nitty-gritties of things. Do you remember the first bet you placed?
Mine, my neurotransmitters were taking me to strip clubs.
Okay.
That's where I spent the money, which is akin to people who go to the betting shop. Ooh. Oh, yes. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Because it's what excites you. That's what you run to. When you feel excited, that's where you run.
Yeah.
When you feel low, that's where you run.
Yeah.
When you're hungry, being a Luya man, you're hungry most of the time, that's where you run.
Okay.
So it was actually, betting is in many ways. There's betting, football, aviator, people say they're pilots. But there's betting with your life that is taking your money somewhere where there's no return.
Okay.
So that was my kind of betting.
Ooh. The first time, do you remember what it was like?
Oh, yeah.
Who introduced you? What happened? Take us there.
I was in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
In school. And a few friends of mine said, you know what, it was on a Thursday. Thursday was RB night, because it was rock in the UK, but we Africans love RB. So we went to the club until 2 a.m. Then one of our friends says, the club was called Brannigans in Leicester. Then a friend of ours said, let's go to a place where you guys are feeling excited. We can't go to the hostels and sleep right now. Let me take you somewhere. And I entered. Wow. Seeing red lights, green lights, like traffic lights everywhere. But there were no cars. There were half-naked women.
Okay.
Strip club.
Yeah.
And that's where you spend your money. It's like betting because it entices you with a promise, and that promise is never kept.
What is the promise?
When you go to a strip club, the promise is, if you pay more, I will reveal more.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
And then when they're just about to reveal, they're saying, no, you need to add more. But then you hold it.
Then you add more.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
So what do? You leave disappointed, but excited about tomorrow, because I'm going to come back tomorrow.
Okay.
So like betting, these young people who bet, I mean, it's staggering that said 700 billion in 1 year. 1 year. We should never complain you have no jobs, Benjamin.
That's true. That is so true. That is so
true.
Yeah.
You go back the next day with the same excitement. Like these guys, young people go and bet, and then Manu loses today. They are promised that next week their star player is coming back from injury, so they will win. Then they bet again. But then they forget they have Onana in the goalkeeper. So the chances of winning...
You warned me. I was warned. Okay.
So how do you spend 700 billion in 1 year? It is, you are buying a promise that does not exist. So why would you go to a strip club? You are buying a promise that will never come to fruition. So you keep on going, until you reach the end. You're like, hang on a minute. This thing is not coming. Just the way young people are like, hang on a minute. I have nowhere else to get money. I've even sold everything that I can in my house. So what do? Depression, suicidal thoughts, cheap alcohol, or just lock yourself in the room until you die. We are looking at the most depressed nation right now. How do you know we are depressed? Post something about success for yourself. 90% will insult you. Why are you not with us in this depression? Post that, oh, you've met a man that you want to get married.
Yeah.
Then you will know you have no friends.
Yeah.
So it's the national mood and why somebody has not kept a promise. But the only people who are succeeding are the owners of these companies.
Oh, that's true. The house has to win.
Oh, they're doing well. And the owners of these companies warn their own children against betting. Their children will never bet. You're told this thing is bad.
Yeah.
We created it, we know.
Yeah.
But out of other people's children dying,
Yeah.
their kids have Weetabix every morning, sausages every morning.
Bacon.
They go to international schools.
Yes.
While other people's children are going to the mortuary because of suicide, are going to the rehab centers. And then once that is done, another lot comes in.
That's true. But you were a student then,
Right,
Abi.
yeah.
Where would you get the money for this?
Where are these guys getting 700 billion a year?
I don't know where. You were a student in a foreign land, and maybe, I don't know, people work jobs to just, get by and all of that. But then...
Well, we did work,
Yeah.
pocket money,
Yeah.
but the diction also gets you to borrowing. That is why. Look at this audience right now.
Yeah.
Somebody has 2,000 on their M-Pesa, and they have 10,000 Fuliza limit. Ask them, how much do you have? They will tell you they have 12,000.
Well, I mean,
Isn't it?
12,000.
Technically.
I mean, technically. But I get what you mean.
So-
I get what you mean, yeah. And it's accessible. It's on phone. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't need guarantors.
But it's not
you don't
your
need
money.
anything. It's not your money.
So you'll
Yeah.
borrow
Yeah.
to do what?
To gamble.
Yes.
Satisfy
That's
a high.
it. So betting is more than just what you see in the betting shops.
Yeah.
But if I were president today, Benjamin, I would ban betting. I don't care that you say it's an economic driver. There are many other things we can use to drive the economy.
Absolutely.
Why build an economy that people will not be there to enjoy the economy? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
These young people are just walking depressed. I mean, they're looking for the next rope to hang themselves.
Literally.
Yeah, and also this betting has taken people to immoral behavior. Because now you don't have money. What else do you have that does not cost money? An erection.
High ship here.
Okay, what time is this program airing?
9:30. 9:30, you're good.
So you have young men saying, okay, fine, I can offer this that does not need money.
Yeah.
And then what do you have? You have an erection, and then a woman becomes pregnant at the age of 17. What do you have? Desperate, young, single mothers.
Yeah.
Then what do you have? Young people trying to raise young people. What do you have? A confused generation that is coming. What do you have? A confused nation. But the people who are owning these betting companies and these strip clubs and all that,
Yeah.
their kids are in international schools.
They're not here.
They get a flu, they're taken to Dubai for a flu shot.
Flu shot, you say?
Yeah. and they travel business class with your money. I mean, 700 billion.
Yeah.
How much of that money has come back to the investor who has gone and done the bet? A very small percentage.
Very small.
The greater percentage
Yeah.
is in these people's boardrooms.
Then what do we need to do then? Because it's happening, it's here.
Ban
And-
this demon.
Yeah.
This thing must be banned. Young kids are confused. Old parents are depressed because I paid school fees, I sold cows to educate you. Now this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we have a depressed nation.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And today, and I'm sorry, well, I hope this program is not sponsored by a betting company.
Job? No. He says
I
no.
would walk out right now. But I know these are very solid people. No, what I'm saying is,
Yes.
then, because of that money, they have a percentage that they can put on TV, which means we will talk about them.
Yeah.
They'll be on the lower third. They'll have advertising space. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you'll keep on talking about them.
Yeah.
And when you talk about them, these young people are very curious. And now, when I was growing up, I think I'm almost the oldest here,
Are you?
Almost.
Okay.
When I was growing up, we only had Voice of Kenya, VOK TV. Right?
Yeah.
Starts at, I think, 10 in the morning. By midnight, it's a national anthem. And from midnight to the next morning, it's the flag just doing like this.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But now, everybody now has a TV on their hand.
Yes.
So there are two things that are imposing themselves on our, three things. Gossip, betting, and pornography. And then you're telling these young people you're preparing them for the nations. No nations. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I've said this, in China, there's a 25-year-old CEO. In Kenya, it's a 50-year-old gossip blogger.
Ahem.
I was having tea with Benjamin. He said something very powerful, just downstairs.
Yeah.
He said, people who promote sin have the most followers.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
It is the truth.
People of the, who promote sin.
That's true.
Si tunakuja, the Bible says. John 3:16. You're there with 4 followers and you have 6 children. So 2. 2 don't even believe in you.
Yeah.
And the other one is just watching because you have to buy them PlayStation the next day.
Yeah.
Your wife is there on another blog.
Yeah.
5 things you do not know about Benjamin Zulu. Number 6 will
Will
shock
shock you. Yeah.
So it's a problem. I think
is a
betting is a
problem.
problem. And
It
I know
is.
as I speak this, they are not happy. But let me tell you, somebody has to speak.
Somebody has to speak. But I think the question for me would be then, because it's happening and we recognize that we've lost lives, we are a depressed nation. What then can we do on platforms like this and with the young people that are here today? What would be the conversation then to them on the receiving end? Because it's happening. They're doing
Like
this.
number one, what we are doing.
Yeah, yeah.
This show promotes sanity. Whatever you guys talk about, it's usually to promote sanity.
Yeah.
All right? Have more platforms like this. And I challenge the media houses. Don't just go for trending topics. Trending is who left who. All right?
Yeah, we don't do that here.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Go for topics that will build the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 of us, one day we shall not be here.
That's true.
We shall be dead.
Yeah.
All they will have is this video. What message are we leaving behind? Okay. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What message are we leaving behind? And stop inviting, not you, I'm not directing to you.
It's like Zulu.
I mean, I know you guys very well.
We were supposed to be grilling you. Now we are here. You see me on the receiving end. What have we done?
You see, the first thing we need to do is block what we call the wrong people from accessing the airwaves. Okay. Because now, all they need to have, we are being watched by very many people at the comfort of their own home. Some are watching on their phones. Yeah. So the message is right. So if you bring wicked people who promote betting, who promote strip clubs, who promote these nightclubs, you're also giving them the most powerful tool, which is media. Mm. It is actually the most powerful tool. We could be less than 100 people in this studio right now. Yeah. But there's a bigger studio in their homes, in their cars, in their universities, on their phones. Yeah. You understand? Number 2, government, I've seen they have banned advertising for betting for 30 days. 30 days for what? 30 days you are giving those people time to go and bribe the people. That's what the 30 days is about. Yeah. Now you go to this office, weka bahasha. Go to that office, threaten that one. And then after 30 days, they'll say, we have come to the realization, after talking to experts, there's no experts in bahasha. All right?
That's true.
That we think we will be only doing the advertising after 10 p.m. This generation, 10 p.m. is still early. So at 10:30, they will watch. Yeah. Not even that. Under the bed with their phones. Na kama hauna data, simama nje ya Java, kula internet yao. That's what is happening. So this thing of 10, watershed, no. We have 24-hour TV in our hands. Yeah. Somebody is in the toilet, they're with their phone. Somebody is having dinner, it's like this. The Buddha huko, anatafuta politics gossip, mother kwa chama, mtoi yako kwa pornography, ule mwingine kwa betting.
Fashion or betting.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So I just think this thing should be banned.
Okay.
Completely. Young people are spending money that they don't have.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's not just a young people problem, Benjamin.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
This is like
It's not.
the whole family.
It's not.
You just tell your father, make sure you don't meet in the betting. You go to that betting that side, me I'll go to that side.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same thing with the club. You see a pot-bellied man, older like me, with a white devil, with a pot belly, with a fake chain, like a dog, dancing with some other women. And then the daughter is on the other side, is also twerking for somebody else. And then the son is the other side, anapanguzia dem kwa ukuta. And then you all... Okay, let me be in order now.
You see my face? Zulu, do you want to chime in here?
You see, what I like the way he's talking from leadership perspective.
Yes.
That as leaders, we should take charge.
Yes.
Let me now bring it on a personal level.
Yes.
Before they ban it nationwide, can you ban it in your family?
Absolutely.
Can you ban it in your personal life? Your children don't so much listen to you like they watch you. Your children may forget what you say, but they don't forget what they see.
That's true.
They watch and they follow. Monkeys see.
Monkey do.
We're not calling them monkeys, but you're just saying there's something, there's something mimicry. There's a time my wife told me something that struck me like thunderbolt. I would come home tired and I'm chilling, just get kids and rest. Then she told me, you see, when you don't take time to play with them, because play is not serious when you're this tired, we understand.
Yeah.
You've been working for the family, everybody understands that he comes home. When you just start off their resting, children will internalize the idea that you're too busy for them. You'll internalize. That's how boys learn that men stay by the side. Because father stayed by the side. If something as passive as me just the 2 hours, the social hour, I'm by the corner there resting, doing something, if that is enough to internalize the idea to my son, that when men grow, they go away from the social space.
Yes.
How much more are we influencing our children? I just want to make you think what he's suggesting, you can do it in your personal space. One thing he was mentioning about Fuliza and all that, I have met couples who we challenge each other, say, when you get serious, you find a person you love, and you want to grow financially, challenge each other to sign out of some of those loan apps. Just challenge each other to pay whatever you owe Tala and delete it. No problem with those apps. I'm not picking on them. I'm just saying, personally, there's a space you reach at. Although this thing is not bad, what Paul would say, you know, food for stomach, stomach for food, but I will not be put under the bondage of anything. Some of these things we are not saying they are bad to everyone. I say, when you want to become more serious with your life, save space for my family, there are some things I'll ban from my own personal life.
Right.
It's painful, but the payoff is worth it.
Absolutely.
When you see your children, when you're growing older, we have retired. They're the ones seated here teaching. Not being used as a bad example. You see, however you behave, you'll be used for in society. Either as a teacher or as an illustration of the bad lesson. So if you fail, you come, if you don't study, you'll be like them. But if you succeed, they say we can follow you. Just to say, how satisfying will it be when you see your teacher your student being you're telling the story, your children telling the story, how mom, dad reformed to help us. And sometimes also, Mikali may be left out because now you say, children, that's for you guys. You are influential. When we put you in front of our kids, you're very influential. Mikali, to finish, let me tell you how phone has brought exposure. This phone has brought exposure to porn. Whatever you want to play that.
It's going to go with the P.
The difference it has brought, and the gambling, the betting. In 1900, the king who was 80 years old, who could access all the women in the year 1900. And for 50 years, he was king. He could see whichever women he wanted to be entertained and all that. Today, a 12-year-old holding a phone in 15 minutes can see more naked women than that king in all his life. I saw that statistic, it gave me dizziness. If your son today grabbing your phone and going, you give them, you scored, get this phone. I'm rewarding you if you get 400. If you go to Alliance, I'll get you a phone. You give them the phone. In 15 minutes, they just go to this OnlyFans. They can see more nudity. They can become a fan. It's only OnlyFans and it can be a fan. So they can see more nudity than your grandpa saw all his lifetime.
That's true.
They can be invited to more gambling just at the click. They even force themselves on the screen. The betting is, you can't even remove it. It is counting down. Just to tell you that today the technology and the role modeling is more. And what my brother is saying, if I were to condense it, he's saying the world is getting darker. Morals are getting eroded. It is now commercial to destroy youth. it pays to promote the wrong things.
Oh, that's true.
There is all incentives. All the money is the root of all evil, and people after money, and they're promoting evil at our own expense.
Absolutely.
That's true.
That's
true.
Oh.
We get addicted to these things. They become things that we're doing every day. It's every day, every time I'm on my phone, I'm just looking. Tuko wapi, nimepata ngapi, naekelea ngapi. You know, it's a whole thing. But then if we're looking to change that, if we're looking to get out of that space, then we need another habit. We need something else. Where do we take this energy, this excitement? How do we handle that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it is so bad that you've said something that is so true yet so painful.
Yeah.
That we need another habit.
Yeah.
We were not born with these habits.
That's true.
They were driven into us. Before these things, we had some good habits.
True.
I mean, I played with dirty water when it rained. I looked for tadpoles. They are long dead, so they have no effect on me.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But now when you look at, just go on, like right now you've mentioned the word betting. Of course, when everybody checks their phone in another hour on their social media, there'll be betting pages that come on their social media pages. Right now.
Yes.
Anybody whose phone is on. So it means that what we keep on discussing is what we are feeding. So now, what do? Benjamin said something very important. It starts with the family level. All right?
Yeah.
It starts with the family level. The family level is as a father or as a leader, take control of your home. I don't want betting here. I have a friend called Kevin, is my physiotherapist. He has an app that once in a while when he's doing his thing on my back, he would say, okay, 1 minute. He goes on his phone. He's monitoring what his kids are doing. And he can switch off their phones remotely.
Wow.
So he's in control. So as parents, are we in control? But you know what we do, as Benjamin said?
Yeah.
We give our children phones as an incentive.
Yep.
If your child is in church making noise,
Give them the
the
phone.
way to keep quiet,
Yeah.
siku zetu si phone,
Bro, macho.
ni kibare.
Wasn't the eye fast?
That eye is for the mother.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The father is, hello?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So the next time you think about crying in church, you remember the eye and the slap, you will listen to the sermon. That's why many people gave their life to Christ during our time. Because you're forced to listen to the sermon. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
If a child is making noise in a supermarket, shika simu. If you go to the barber shop, how do you keep your children still?
Simu.
So what have these people done? Because they know that's where our eyes are, they are coming to where our eyes concentrate on.
That's true.
Which is where? So, family level, church,
Yeah.
we must also now preach morality. We could not just say, receive your wife, receive your husband. Kama uju kukatia mtu, I will not lay hands on you, upate bibi. You understand? So
Yes.
this also, I'm sorry to say this, I'm a preacher. These exciting motivational sermons. No, let's go down into the crunk of the matter.
Yeah.
Moral value, all right?
Yeah.
Then you'll see these kids moving away from, and then laws must be put in place. Laws must be put in place.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I know it may be hard to ban it because it's a billion-dollar industry, and then they are owned by people who make the laws.
Yeah.
But create laws that if a person under 18 is found doing these things, the deterrent fine is so high, they can take you out of business. We have to start from somewhere. And then media. Let me challenge media. Yes. Benjamin has said on their phone, we have seen more naked women. But even in our media houses, we are seeing naked women. And men dressed like women.
That's true.
That has to stop.
Yeah.
We can't come. We give us good things, not thighs and breasts.
Okay.
If we want that, we'll go to Kenchik.
I apologize.
So now,
Yes.
a 10-year-old is seeing thighs. Hello, how are you doing? Apa! You understand? You're already... Okay, let me be in order. You're already exciting these people with the wrong things.
Yeah.
So, if we can have family, government,
Yeah.
educational institutions,
Yeah.
church,
Yeah.
and media, if we speak one language, I'm telling you, we'll save this society. But because we want trending topics,
Yeah.
we will bring people on our stations who promote nonsense. And their voice will be louder. Today, Benjamin Zulu, I travel all over the world. I get questions. Oh, you mean he's your friend? How is he like? Meaning he's influential.
Yes.
He has the right voice.
Yes.
But today, if we put Benjamin Zulu here, and then 2 minutes later, as Lay Queen in another studio, half of these guys will leave us. They look like the Holy Spirit here. They will all leave us and go where? Where sin is.
Yeah.
So we have to keep on keeping on. This show should be on every day.
Oh.
I'm serious. Because the people promoting sin are there every day.
Yeah.
We shall log off.
Yeah.
But there's somebody on the online. Every 3 minutes on update. Another man dressed like a woman. And then you have men saying, oh. I know I'm touching another area people don't like.
And on that note, we're going to take a very short commercial break, but we will be right back. Remember, this is the Elevate Show, and we're coming back with the audience asking questions. And the conversation today, we're talking about gambling and betting and how that affects our relationships, our marriages, and our personal lives as well. So don't go too far. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Elevate Show, and today we're talking about gambling and betting and all the things that come with that and how they affect our relationships, our marriages, our love life and personal life as well. Of course, we have Burale in the building and Benjamin Zulu. Drop a game of coffee. And the floor is open for all the questions that you may have. We can start with you.
Hello everyone, this is Kelly. My question goes to Pastor Burale, the man I respect so much. From a pastor's perspective, do you think we can have these difficult topics in churches? Because right now, when people are not receiving something from where they don't know where it's coming, then they are not coming there, unless you're telling them to receive. But can we have these conversations? Another question now to anyone else, maybe Mr. Zulu, is we used to belong to the society as kids. But at the moment, you belong to your parents. So I find you doing something wrong. I don't care. It is none of my business. That is your father's and mother's business. Do you think we can decolonize our mind and go back to them days when we used to belong to the society? Thank you.
All right.
So let me answer from a pastoral position.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you that it is a high time that the churches have this difficult conversation. Because every Sunday we have young people, we have the youth church, we have the young adults, so we have them there. So we give them knowledge, wisdom for living, and the spiritual angle. Because these things, whether we like it or not, are not of God. They are not of God. Because when God adds you wealth, there is no stress that comes with it. How many lives have been lost because of gambling? How many lives have been rendered useless because of gambling and has driven people into depression? So yes, I think we need to have more conferences, not to give people wives and husbands.
All right.
I think that that needs to stop.
Yeah.
Wife and husband, I will not lay hands on you. Shoot your shoot. The best we can do is give you the much needed spiritual nourishment to raise you to be the right people. If as a lady in church is being built spiritually, you're already in a position to be somebody else's wife or a good mother. If we raise the man with the parameters of biblical order, we'll raise men who will look away from betting. We are not telling people you will not come across these things. Like we tell young people, as long as you have a phone, you'll come through in contact with pornography. But when you come into contact with it, do you have the strength, the foundation, the value system to walk away? Conquering something is not being away from that thing. It is coming face to face from that thing and walking away. So yes, I do agree that we need to have these conversations. And I'm going to challenge my fellow pastors. Why don't we have these seminars, these youth things that we have, and stop inviting too many people to jump up and down with them in as far as music is concerned? Because all they do is come out sweating, but empty heads. So what do we have? We have people on phones like this. So what is happening? The next career, the next lucrative career is physiotherapy. You know why? because we are always like this. So our spinal cords are messed. So we have hurting necks, hurting backs, quick fingers, and empty brains.
Okay, all right. And said Zulu, there was another question.
Somebody said we're in the era of smartphones and stupid people. That's
Whoa, whoa.
We have smartphones, smart cars, smart everything, but the people.
Stupid.
That question of what happens to that communal setting, there's a saying in Africa that says when birds learned to fly without landing, hunters learned to shoot without missing.
Okay.
Okay? Back then, when communities were together, it was easier to have more eyes to watch over. Now, communities are no longer watchers, they are eaters of the children. You really have to protect. It's no longer strangers who hurt your children. Yeah. It's the people you bring home and call them uncle.
Right.
So we said, and he also amplified that, generally the moral fabric of the world is disintegrating. Generally, we used to respect marriages. When people were married, women wouldn't come running after married men. It was not okay. Today, the married man is the hot cake. Because you can siphon from him slowly. And the side chick organization said they don't want the goat wife to leave. They say, stop leaving when you hear that you're cheating with your husband. We don't want all of him. What are we going to do with such a big man? We just want the benefits. You stay there. We want all of you to remain in place. And we just pluck what we want. Just to tell you that don't hope for community, bro. The solution is to, now because the immorality is flying without landing, you must shoot without missing. Depend on yourself and your own family. As a man, be faithful, stay home. When you come from work, be home. I have that formula of telling men the first step to be a man is just go home. You know, men don't go home. Yeah. They go to bars, they go to churches, they go to be with the boys, but there's nobody to be home. So who is at home is the entertainers, the Hollywood, is the YouTube, is the gay teacher, is the, you know, and you know the leading shows nowadays is people like Coco Melon, Miss Rachel. If you don't know those people, continue parenting.
Coco Melon.
It's a children's show.
Rachel.
They have billions of views. And you wonder, who is watching? The little toddlers. Because if they don't eat, you give them the phone so that they can eat. But they don't play, you give them to watch Miss. And Miss Rachel has more influence on my children than me. Yeah. She comes and says, say, Mama, the kids come laughing. And when I try to talk to them in our language, they don't hear me. But Miss Rachel from somewhere in America, they come running to tell you, bro, shoot without missing, but just be, I don't want to gamble anymore with my roles as a father. I will not miss because the world is not missing. And I hope you heard that song, the hip-hop song, they called us mosquitoes. They said, you think you can keep us out, we have more influence over your children than yourself, and they call us mosquitoes. In that hip-hop song, sang very quickly, but if you watch the lyrics, they call us parents, mosquitoes. Your children watch us more than they watch you. Just shoot yourself. Don't wait. Aim at shaping the children yourself.
Absolutely. And we have another question here.
That is my name. Most of us, the older Gen Z, were introduced to gambling when TV was not there, through kucheza bano. And after that, football, kucheza ukiwa umetoa shati, timu yenye ikiingiza goal, wanavaa shati. Those are the people now who are in aviators and other betting. We are so much focused on the next generation not gambling, rather than focusing on, today, the real gamblers. Those people who joined campus, wakakula help, wakakula school fees yenye walitumiwa, and have dropped out. What is the solution we can help our brothers and sisters out here? Because we thought first it's a men problem. Women are also, our girlfriends are also gambling.
Completely, absolutely.
And to the extent of, we are gambling hata hile deposit tumekea kwa nyumba. Unaenda kuitisha, umepitisha miezi yenye umekaa kwa nyumba, unaweza nirudisha deposit, uchukue hizo vitu. This is the real situation in our campuses. The conversation most of us we are having is about next generation, no screen time for our kids. But we have a problem today. What can be done to save our brothers and sisters today who are in that ditch? Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, even your girlfriends are gambling. Okay.
Yo.
And if you ask her whether she's making wise choices, she reminds you you're one of the choices.
Yeah.
So maybe she also gambled with you.
It's a gambling affair.
I think what we need to understand is like the hospital. There's the ICU, HDU, and the general ward. So the now generation may be in the ICU. So you have life support machines. And that's why you need a lot of close care. That's what I was telling Benjamin. I was whispering to him that you need this show almost every day. In the ICU, there's a nurse beside your bed 24/7. And then in the general ward, they come in periodically. So the coming generation is in the general ward, so we keep on checking on them, all right, just to make sure the medicine is being taken on time, all right? But for you in the ICU, there are two things that will happen. We'll either call your family and say, we are sorry he's gone, and the ones who we save will change themselves because they're like, I need to eat well. I don't want to go through cardiac arrest or something like that, all right? So we also have to understand one thing. Imagine Mzekawimi, an old man like me. Okay, no, I'm not very old. Ni silver fox. You know what I'm saying?
Silver fox.
No, you just say that for the sake of, you know, wisdom kakianguka. But there's an age you reach.
Yeah.
Umekoma. So sometimes we have to be realistic and say, 10 men who are 60, for example, we may not be able to change them. If we save 2, that's fine. But kids under the age of 13, if they are 100, the worst we should do is save 99. So when you are concentrating on the generation that is coming, it's not because you are ignoring the generation that is in the hole right now. Yeah. There's something happening. And that's why I say, and I challenged even the media houses. You are in the ICU because you are there 24/7. Give us the right information. Whoever watches this show will not be excited about pornography, will not feel, oh, it has inspired me to go and bet. But if Elevate is the one inspiring people to do the right things, and then it's hidden between 25 other shows that are telling people to do wicked things, we are drowning their voices. So even you people, stop following these people who are promoting you to go to your death. You are also the problem, because these are the people you're following. What? Who said you cannot unfollow them?
You can. You can.
Some of this, let me tell you, if I was to look for a relationship coach, I would advise you guys, go to Benjamin Zulu. But you unaenda wapi? Kuona wanaume vaa nguo za madem? And you're saying, wow, you inspire us.
Male supremacists.
Inspired? Mandazi, what are you inspiring people? What are you inspiring people? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're clapping for them. You will die. By the way, let me say it on National TV, you will die. And death is not just physical. Yeah. Death is in your mind. And now, I talked to some other young girl I was counseling, and do you know what she did?
Yeah.
19-year-old. As I'm counseling, she just looked at me like this, cold stare. And that's what I said, are you okay? 19. Then she picked her phone, and her excitement came back because she was looking for some funny things. Now, what I was telling her will change her life for the next 70 years. Okay. But it didn't matter to her. But she just went to those things that excite, those neurotransmitters, pornography, whatever. There are over 400 million pages of pornography,
What?
400 million. One of the pornography sites in 1 year had 45 billion hits. In 2012, the pornography industry was making $3,000 a second. Now, one site has 400 billion hits, 45 billion hits in 1 year. We have a globe of 7 billion people. Zako ni ngapi? So you are competing. What did the CEO of Netflix say? They have no competition. Their competition is sleep. The idea is to keep you awake. But what are you watching? Even in Netflix now, you click one, gay movies. Na munaenda hapo. Then you come and now follow men on Instagram who dress like women. And then women who behave like men. Now, I wish this was live, because nezaona hii show mumei edit.
You know who to call if that happens. To call.
That is why even TV stations are scared of live TV. Because the sponsors will, you know, umegonga LGBTQ. Nobody was born gay.
Yes.
If you want to go and report me to Oprah, you are not born gay. If you go to the Bible in Genesis, male and female. But now, it is a conversation. We are seeing young boys saying, oh, We are seeing, you know, when you were growing up, give me your hand, Benjamin. We used to be taught to say hi to men like this. Squeeze ni hivi. Mimi naweza kupiga kofi.
They wave like this.
Yeah. Then you are small boys. Oh, you are toxic. Toxic kitu gani? I mean, you understand? Let men be men. Even these comedians, and some of them are my friends. You are telling me you are wearing like a woman, that's comedy. It is not comedy. We know there's an agenda to make young boys get used to you dressing like women. Sijui akina Madia, sijui akina Mahu. Those are not good things. Because if you have a 10-year-old son, for 3 years, watches Madia. At 14, somebody, it's okay to dress like a woman. And it's a spiritual thing. The day you dress like a woman, even your mannerisms start changing. It works without you knowing. By the time you're there, you're walking behind other boys. Check his check his check his.
Call to order. Ujaji call for a long time.
Producer, his name
Job.
is called Job.
Yes.
If you edit this out,
you know where to find him.
I know your address.
All right, we have another question.
Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
This is Mrembo Mcheshi Kananu Catherine. Robert Burali, thank you for being such an inspiration to many.
Thank you.
God bless you. Okay, my question relates some of what he asked, but for me, I will ask on this angle. Okay, when you were going for strip clubs and all, at least there's something you did that made you get out of it. There's somewhere at least you decided, now it's enough. So there's somebody, right, maybe in campus trying to get some extra, because maybe they are trying to say, maybe I can have my school fees, I can get some pocket money, and now they are into gambling like no man's business. They cannot get out of it. So how, like, where do they start? What can they do so that at least they get out of it? Like, what you did for you to come out of it maybe can be an encouragement to another person. And then my question number 2, now from the pulpit, somebody comes to you and maybe they want some counseling. They have been in 2 days. They want to stop. So how do you handle them? And what is the message you have to your fellow clergy? Because honestly speaking, some are taken like outcasts. Like if a person who has been gambling goes now for advice, for counseling, utakemewa. Mwenye dhambi, uko na pepo. Like now, this somebody has gone there because akupata mali kwingine pa kwenda, lakini akaona kienda pale atasaidika. Lakini yale ambayo atapata pale yeye mwenyewe hata anaanza kujiuliza mbona nilikuja hapa.
Right. So, okay. Number 1, what did I do when I knew I was drowning thanks to strip clubs? I cried for help. Okay. Why do you cry for help? You know what you're doing is wrong, but you cannot stop it. Just cry for help. Every time you genuinely cry for help, the Lord sends people who have the way to yank you out. Now, the Lord will send people who will not judge you. If a young man comes and tells me, or a young lady, I'm struggling with pornography, I will not judge them. Because what God delivers you from, he gives you grace for. Yes. So you help them. Anytime God helps you out of a situation, it's not for you and your family to have a party. It's that the Lord will send somebody who is going through what he delivered you from. So number 1, don't judge them. Then I'll give them, if you listen to my radio show, all 90% of the calls, I want to get out of masturbation. I want to get out of pornography. I want to get out of betting. I don't know how. All right? I spend mom's money. I need to win again so that I give her back. I keep on lying to her, I'll give you back. And then you lose more money. And then if you lose your dad's money, then you want to commit suicide. So just cry for help. I cried for help, and people helped me. And that's where I am today. If you come to the pulpit, and I want to challenge the clergy, we need to have information beyond the Bible. Now, this is very controversial, what I'm about to say, but I'm not going to help this generation if I don't understand what they're going through. Yeah. There's a way somebody comes to me as a pastor and tells me this is what I'm going through, and then I will not give them the scripture, you will go to hell. No. This person needs to be won by love. And then, how do you win them by love? By explaining to them what they're going through. And how do you know what they're going through? Because you have knowledge. Abraham trying to sacrifice Isaac is not the knowledge about betting. There you'll bring the love of God, all right? But now, you know this betting, this is what it does. You know, words like dopamine. We don't hear those words in scripture. We just hear demons. And sometimes the biggest demon is not the one that you say, toka, sitoki, toka, sitoki. No, 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 no. The biggest deliverance is the deliverance of the mind. Toka, toka, sitoki, toka, toka. And then you're a pastor asking the demon, when in nani, Esther? How can the father of lies tell you the truth? And then you're saying, Esther, toka. And then you're saying, you're the father of lies and you believe Jinakini Esther. So some of these things is just kipindire.
Okay, okay.
I mean, even Jesus used metaphors and you know, to get you out of the mind of bondage, you know, renew your mind. There is a place for demons. But let's not slap people, yet we just need to impute knowledge. Yeah. You understand? Mepiga watu kofi ya kutosha. You understand? Yeah. Although pia tukikuombea na hiyo demo nakataa, mimi nitajifanya nakuombea lakini nakuchura masikio. Lakini it is well, I still love you. But don't sometimes sit with these people and tell them, this is what you need to do. This is what gambling does. It started in this here. So what you need to do, when you feel excited, find an alternative. Go dancing, go play golf, go do this. It replaces, because there has to be a replacement. Yeah. That's why when you give your life to Christ, the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and the demons leave. So it's the same principle. There has to be a replacement. When Jesus conquered the grave and he says, I have to go so that the one my Father promised shall come. And then it says, he will come again. You understand what I'm saying? So let's deliver the people. But when you gather the youth, what do? Boom twaf. Yeah. A 2-hour conference. 90% of the time. Mikono juu. Mikono chini. Side by side. Now scream. We are competing with the club. Yet we want to deliver people to the club, from the club. Somebody said, you cannot cast out a demon that you spend the night with. You understand? Yeah. So let's sit and tell me, to be honest, how many youth conferences you have seen the young people with notes and pens? Hakuna. Wako ready to kurukaruka. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But jumping without knowledge is going to the gym without a diet.
All right. Mnaandika notes.
Hapo ndo watu piga makofi.
Yo, yeah. We have. Do you want to chime on to that, or do we get another question?
Yeah, and I'm sure you're about to ask me for parting shot.
Yes,
I can feel it coming.
Yeah.
Just to wrap that there, that those who are in situations, let's normalize therapy. Africa, okay. Let's use the word counseling.
Oh, yeah.
There's a counseling and psychologist board in Kenya now.
Yes.
And they published the list of registered counselors recently. You can type counselors around me, registered, and you can do online. You can do from where you are. You can do it comfortably. There's no shame now. Let's stop shaming mental health. Let's stop using Mathare Hospital as a way to diss people. Ena Mathare ukamalize dos. Actually, it's just a hospital. And nowadays, the mental, it could be that it just low self-esteem. Can we normalize that? Yes. Can we stop telling people walie wakiendaga kama ambulance? That's some problems you can't lia ukiendaga itakulemea. That your father did not validate you, your mother was not present, and you don't have enough support. Somebody had broke you, and so you know some men on a date unconsciously anaitwa toothpick. Mtu alikuruhusu akakuita toothpick, and you're walking around feeling that what they called you, ama alienda kwa online. Ladies, let me teach you some of these men you see around here. Let me tell you something. Then they're discussing you, you know, and people know you are the immediate ex who is the toothpick reference. Oh. You know, they're calling men things, and until young men nowadays, instead of saying I have brains, they're saying I have inches. They brag, and when they take photos, they put the hand, you know. They no longer, you better put it here. Say you have something, you know. Say I'm in problems. Just to say, let's normalize now therapy and healing. The word healing, use it normally now in your conversations. Yeah. That I'm buying books on healing, I'm working on my emotional life, that I'm working on my psychological well-being. It's the void. I will not cease to tell us that addiction is an attempt to scratch a real itch. It's an attempt to scratch a wound. Let's cure the wound.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that, Zulu. Parting shot, kabla tufunge show.
let's just save a generation. Let's speak in one language.
Okay.
Whether it's government, schools, churches, and family.
Yeah.
The moral fabric must be sewn back together. Otherwise, we shall lose a generation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been lovely sitting next to the both of you. And my audience as well, asanteni sana for being amazing. Jipigeni makofi. And for my audience at home as well, thank you for always tuning in. Until next time, this has been Elevate. Adios.